everyone, I am Maria of Historical Belle, and this is Lucky, the best sewing supervisor in the entire world. And today we are going to show you how we made a 1530s Italian Renaissance style gown. So my Shire, the Shire of Beaufort in the world of the SCA, is hosting their annual event, Golden Lilly. And it's going to be so much fun. I've never been to it before. This is my first event, like, as part of the Shire when they're hosting one. And the theme changes every year. But this year the theme is a fun Italian carnival festival. And I'm really excited. And you don't have to dress on theme for these events. They all have a theme, but you're not at all expected to dress on theme. But me being me, I need to dress on theme. And I don't have anything Italian Renaissance-y. I have, I think a lot of times when people think of Renaissance-y outfits, they think of Italian Renaissance outfits. So I had some costumes when I was younger that, looking at that now, I'm like, I think that was inspired by the Italian Renaissance. I'm not quite sure. A lot of Renaissance outfits, they're just kind of like a mashup of times and cultures and places. But I don't have much time for this. So, me being me as well, I went through my fabric stash, I went through my patterns to see what I already got, because also there's not a lot of great Renaissance patterns out there either that are even close to a historically accurate silhouette, I guess. So I found patterns, I found fabric, and I also started a Pinterest board to see how I can make the best of all worlds collide. And I'm feeling pretty good about it right now. So let me show you the pattern, and then also some of the portraits that I used as inspiration.
In my stash, I already had this McCalls costume pattern by Angela Clayton, M7763, and I also had this beautiful plum striped fabric that I've been having in my stash for forever. As I was looking at this Angela Clayton pattern, it looked Italian Renaissance, but I needed to figure out exactly when and exactly where this pattern is coming from. After a quick Pinterest search, I figured out that this is really early 1500s, like 1510 to 1530 Florence, Italy. The hallmarks of these fashions are really the very large poof sleeves over a fitted undersleeve, and also very large square necklines that are usually filled in with a camiseta, but also sometimes not, probably depending on time of day and function of dress. What I think is really interesting is this fabric that I'm going to make this dress out of. I had actually been saving to make an 1830s dress with, and I think the similarities between the 1530s and the 1830s with the giant sleeves and the square necklines is just so cool, because the fashion, it's cyclical, it comes back, and I just think that that's super interesting that these two silhouettes share so much in common. I had never used this pattern before, so of course I needed to cut out the pattern before I could cut out the fabric. And also, as I was going through these portraits, I noticed there were some things that I might need to alter to make this pattern a little bit more historically accurate.
Alright, it is now time to cut out this pattern. I have been putting off actually cutting out this pattern because cutting out things scares me, because that means that it is finalized. So I've been staring at this a lot, checking my references a lot to make sure that this is exactly what I want to do and that I'm doing it in the most historically accurate way that I know how, because 1530s Florence, Italy is not really my area of study, and I'm not completely sure what I'm doing, and I haven't been able to find, I've been able to find some good references, but there's not as plentiful, or at least I do not know where to look, than, say, like, Victorian or even 18th century now. Those two are really popular. 1530s Florence, Italy does not seem to be as popular. But here we are. Here we are. So I'm making some modifications to the pattern to make it what I believe more historically accurate. So the front bodice I have put on the fold, because this is going to be just one piece. Same with the back. The back is not going to have a seam in the center back. It's going to be on the fold, and then we are going to lace up the sides on each side. That is my plan, at least. Because that is what I believe to be the most historically accurate way to do that. This fabric, I have reference for stripes that were used in this time period. Were they exactly like these stripes? Not exactly, but they're stripes. So close enough, and I've had this fabric for literally years and I've never used it. I'm also a little nervous, a little sad about using it. I had originally thought about making an 1830s ball gown with this, but I have never in my life had the opportunity for an 1830s ball gown. And I don't know if I ever will. But I do know that I have an event to wear this to coming up in 3 weekends. So I would like to go ahead and do that. And I also had a whole thing about the sleeves and if I wanted to have the undersleeve the same fabric as the oversleeve. I do think that most of the ones that I can find do have the same fabric, even though it looks like you could do it with different fabric or at least have something pulled over the lower sleeve to add warmth. But this will be fine. This seems good. I also relayed the pattern out multiple times because I want to use the least amount of fabric, and trying to cut bias binding out is a pain because it takes up a lot of room. But here we are. I think I just need to go ahead, stop talking, stop overthinking it, and cut out this fabric. So I am making another modification to the pattern with pattern piece 5 here, skirt front A. And with this one, I am not cutting this into 2 separate panels because it's not going to be a split skirt. Instead, I have put my dashed line here on the fold so that it'll be one full skirt. And I have aligned it here to where it looks like it should taper in a little bit here. I like that because let's put less fullness right at the waist, and also from what I know and been told, this is historically accurate to have a taper. So while it tapers a little bit more to have even more fullness at the end, my fabric is not that wide and there is no way to fold this to where that's going to be possible without doing a lot of really weird things. So we're just not going to have as much fullness down at the bottom. That will be okay. Alright, got to cut this out now.
The bodice is going to have a lining for this project. I ended up just using my favorite thing that I always use for lining, and that is some cotton bed sheets. Is that historically accurate? No. I mean, to have a cotton lining in Florence, Italy in the Renaissance, probably not. And am I using plastic boning? Yes, I am. So I'm really trying to go for a historically accurate silhouette, since this is my first time ever diving into this era at all, and especially in Italy. So I'm really trying for a historically accurate silhouette and not so much historically accurate materials. I honestly don't remember what the fabric content of the fabric that I've had forever is, so not sure. But I do want it to look nice. And part of it looking nice is hand sewing all of the boning on to the linings, and I think that looks really nice there. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach my lining fabric to my fashion fabric in the front and in the back, sew that all the way around, leaving just the bottom open where it will essentially be sewn onto the waist seam of the skirt. This dress does not have a separate waistband. Instead, I'm just going to attach it straight onto the skirt. And then my opening will be on the sides right under the sleeves. So the sleeves will be together. Well, the armholes will be sewn all the way around. And then there will be a slit on the side of the bodice going down into the skirt. And that will hopefully be how I put the dress on. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it goes. I was very happy with how the front bodice piece and the back bodice piece looked once I've cut all the little corners and flipped them right side out and poked out the corners too. These are the only two pieces that I will be using for the bodice, which is kind of strange. I was like, what? Do we just have a front piece and a back piece and then we just put them together and sew a couple seams and that's it? Yes, it is. Yes, indeed it is. So like I said, I'm leaving the sides open because that is where I will be getting in and out of the outfit. So we are just going to be sewing up the shoulders, the shoulder seam, and then just like an inch of right under the armpit. And Lucky is really interested in the machine right now. Not sure why, but she is going to help guard while we sew on the band that is going to bind the arm side. To attach this band to the arm side, I just pinned one side around and I'm sewing that with my machine, and then I folded the other half onto the inside of my bodice and folded in the rough edges, and then I'm just doing a nice little hand whip stitch all the way around because look how clean and nice that looks. I'm very proud of it. That is one of the nicest finished arm size I have ever done. And I have had some pretty nasty arm size. So please enjoy this moment with me. I'm very proud of it.
So the pattern had 3 sections for the skirt. I don't know about this. I wanted the skirt to be like too full. So right now I have the front panel and the back panel, and I think I'm going to just gather those together and then just kind of see if there's enough, and if there is, I'll go ahead and attach it to the bodice, and if there's not, then I'll go ahead and I'll cut out the other skirt panel. But I was just looking at this and I was like, that's a lot of fabric, and I've had some skirts in the past that have been so thick, trying to jam them onto the bodice. It feels like it takes away because there's too much fabric. So it's still going to be a very full skirt. We'll just see how full it is, and who knows, we might need another one. The 2 might be fine. Alright, so I have the bodice done. It is a nice short bodice. I did a lot of modifications as I walked you through in the video, and I now have it opening at both sides. Getting it on and off is a little tricky, but it's okay. I've practiced. Whew. And that was actually a little bit easier, because once I bound the ends of the armholes, I basically seam ripped all the way up to that. So my t-shirt is being my kamisata right now, but it fits perfectly, beautifully. This will come together and I will put lacings up it, hopefully, that's the plan. And then I'm going to attach the front of the skirt and the back of the skirt to this, as well as the sleeves. I decided only to do one panel for the skirt front and one panel for the skirt back. Because the fabric I'm using is so thick, I decided to nix the skirt sides, and also because of the way that I'm doing the openings. but I think that'll be perfect and great. So now I'm about to attach the skirt front, which I have already gone ahead and gathered. I might show you how I do that in a second, if I haven't already. But yeah, here it is. I think that'll look nice. I'm definitely going to need a sash or something. This is just a lot of stripes. All right, well, I have less than a week now to get this done, so I better start sewing now. Alright, so I attached the skirts, but I have not attached the skirts to each other, just to the bodice. So let's try it on. I was worried it was going to be too stripey, but I really like it. I think it looks really good. So now I just need to attach the skirts together and put on some sleeves and some trim, and then it'll be done. Oh, I also have to do the lacings on the side. I think I actually might be able to get this done in time for this weekend. I think I might be able to do it, Lucky.
So I went ahead and I trimmed some threads, and then I pinned about 10 inches down from the waistband the skirt seams together on the front and the back. And then I went ahead and did a nice zip of a seam right down the edge until I hit the hem on my sewing machine. Now it is time to focus in on the sleeves. There are two parts to the sleeve. There is the upper sleeve, which is giant and full, like a leg of mutton sleeve. It is ginormous, and I did a nice little gathering stitch on the top and the bottom, and here I am gathering with that gathering stitch, pulling the thread until it was just the right length where I was then going to encase it in a binding. I really like these bindings. They are nice. They help clean up all of these raw edges and just make it look oh so nice. So this is going to be our top sleeve. And then we're going to have our secondary sleeve, our under sleeve. It goes all the way to the shoulder still. It's a full sleeve. It just has this sleeve over it. And I'm going to connect them both at the same time. So I just have to do that seam once with both of them encased into the arm side. Here you are watching as I top stitch the band that is going to be encasing the edge of the over sleeve. So here is our under sleeve. We're just going to fold it over like a hot dog and do one seam up the back. Ta-da! Pretty easy under sleeve. So now they are both folded together, and we are going to pin that onto our nice lovely band that we just made.
So, my friend Kayla from Under the Tin Roof sent me a package, and I think I know what it is, and I am so excited. Let's open it. So like, I know that y'all can't smell this, but it smells amazing already, and I'm not sure how that happened, but it is the Cottagecore Baking Book! Her newest cookbook in a hardback. Love that. The hardback ones are better to display on my cookbook stand, so I'm so excited. Like, just look how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful this is! Discover a whimsical world of decadent bakes! I know the photography... Listen to that crack. Yes. A good book. Already. Amazing photos. Beautiful. Beautiful. Afternoon tea, quick breads, muffins, and scones. Time for a spot of tea. Won't you join me? Absolutely, yes, I will. Can, coffee, cake, muffins. Hummingbird bread with cream cheese frosting. Lucky. Lucky, we're going to eat so good. We're going to have a tea party, Lucky. Sweetheart chocolate chunk scones. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sweet potato sage biscuits. Y'all.
Okay, enough procrastinating of actually sewing the sleeves in because sleeves are evil. Now we'll actually take it to the machine and we will rotate that dress through it, attaching that sleeve and both upper sleeve and undersleeve.
Look at these sleeves! Oh my goodness, they are so poofy and so much fun. The undersleeves are very tight. It feels like they are meant to tie on rather than be sewn in, but that's what I did. I sewed in both of the sleeves, one right on top of the other, and now I have a dress. Ta-da! Now under the dress, I am wearing a chemise. I realized since I need to get this dress done tonight, I do not have time to make a camiseta, which would be more, or this, which essentially is a shift, but it's it would be the historically accurate version to go with this dress for this time period in Italy. I think my 18th century one for, well, mainly European America, will be okay for the moment, for this evening, because I'm going to wear this in the evening. This is going to be my dress to go to the feast and to the ball for the Golden Lilly event. So I think it's okay if I don't have as much covering up top here. So what else do I need to get done tonight? Well, I need to hem the skirt. I need to hem the sleeves here, and then I need to make it to where I can lace up the sides. What I'm thinking of doing, instead of doing it by hand, which I do not have time for, I am going to just put little buttonholes in and call it good. That's my plan. So, I got several hours. I got a couple hours. So let's do it.
I measured and marked where I wanted to put in the buttonholes about every 2 inches or so, and I just stuck a little pin where I wanted to put a buttonhole. So there's going to be several, and then I alternated, and between where I put the buttonholes on one side, well, I would put a buttonhole on the other side so that this would be spiral laced, because spiral lacing would be the more historically accurate way to lace at this time. Really the only way to lace at this time. Now, the dress was wearable when we arrived at the event, but I had not put on my finishing touches. I had not sewn on the trim yet. So while we were checking in and hanging out the first night of Golden Lilly, I sat in the hall and sewed the trim onto my dress so that I would be able to wear it the next night, which I was so excited. I got to wear this to court, I wore it to the feast, I wore it to the ball, and it was so much fun. I felt like a pretty Italian princess, and also I got to wear it to receive my first award at court. So to learn more about that, you'll have to tune in to our next vlog. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time.